Hey everyone, how you all doing today? And welcome back to another video. We are in the Ultra League, the Open Ultra League. I wanted to try out Bellibolt. I think Bellibolt, it is ranked #1 currently on PvPoke, and I think this Pokemon is fantastic. The issue it has is it has two electric charge attacks. If it had something other than Zap Cannon, then it would be fantastic, and it is already fantastic. So the backline, of course, is weak to ground. The idea is to lure out one of the ground types with Drapion. For example, that Gastrodon, right? And Bruising, of course, is going to do really well against ground types. Team will have some issues, but it worked out pretty well, and I actually had positive sets with this team. So we're going to jump right into the battles and see how they go. Welcome back, everyone. I took a little bit of a break. Of course, I had Go Fest in New York / New Jersey, right? And that was a lot of fun, of course. Yeah, just took some time off, a little bit of time off. But either way, still in the lead. That's what you want to see. But they actually make a beautiful catch. I didn't even see that catch. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even see that catch as I was battling. But that was a great catch by them. But I can bring in my Drapion, and I will be able to outpace them. Drapion was nerfed. It now has a 20% chance to debuff the opponent. I get the debuff there. I'm actually going to get it twice in a row. But even, I thought it was going to go down to a 10% chance. But even if it did, I still think Drapion would be really good. Because the pacing is so good. It's not even for the debuff chance. Obviously, that 30% was a little bit too high, so it did deserve the nerf. But I feel like it should have went to 10%. Torch Song is totally fine. They're gonna make an attempted catch, but I see that come in, and I do catch with my Virizion. It's gonna be Breaking Swipe, so that's totally fine. We do get the debuff, but again, like, this is such a good matchup for Virizion because yes, we're weak to Psychic Fangs, but Psychic Fangs is not a heavy hitting attack. Plus, the Thunder Fangs are resisted, so great matchup. Gotta get my coffee. Great matchup for the Virizion. I charge up for 2. I thought one Sacred Sword would KO. I mean, because of the Breaking Swipe, it's not gonna be able to. But so I'll put it at like 1 HP or 2 HP, but one more double kick will be able to knock out. I have Sludge Bomb on my Drapion in this battle. That was a mistake. I just kept it on from like last season. I switch it next battle to Aqua Tail. Okay, so not bad. Umbreon, once Umbreon came in, I knew this was going to be a game over. Go for the attack right there. They're going to have to throw an attack. I don't know what they're hoping for. Maybe Jellicent. I mean, if they're hoping for Jellicent in the back. But fortunately for me, it's not Jellicent. Dark Pulse is going to be enough to KO. I do have the Sacred Sword ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that right now. This doesn't KO, but low, even if I had Jellicent at this point, a Surf would be enough to knock out. Anyway, so Psychic, they actually do have Psychic that will KO me, but I could bring in Bellibolt, and I'm going to be able to get to a Parabolic Charge and take that win. Good game to my opponent. Yeah, this is going to KO. It looks like they might have actually forced quit, but it's fine. We're still going to be able to win this one. Good game to my opponent. Yeah, I had a great time at Go Fest. It was great meeting a lot of you. So thank you to all who came up and said hi. Really appreciate it. Virizion into Lapras. Okay. Good matchup, although obviously the Cywaves are super effective. Plus the Ice Beam, but it's still a good matchup generally because we do outpace. We do get to this Leaf Blade. And I am going to be able to pick up this shield there. My opponent is going to throw. Now, I did think this was going to be a Sparkling Area, but it's actually an Ice Beam, so that was a good shield by me. And I'm continuing to farm up, and I do go for another Leaf Blade. We're going to pick up the second shield from them. I switch out because I need to lure out a possible ground type, so I do switch out. I could have obviously shielded, got to another Leaf Blade or whatever, but they do Sparkling Area there, and we do lure out the Swampert. So, obviously, Bellibolt wants nothing to do with Swampert. The good thing about Bellibolt is even though the charge attacks are resisted, you do still have the neutral Sucker Punch damage, but it's still not a good matchup for Bellibolt. It needs something other than Zap Cannon, I feel like. Yeah, I mean, if they have double ground, they have double ground, but I'm just going to let this go. Hydro Cannon is going to be enough to KO me. And I could farm down with my Virizion. Okay, I thought I almost went for Sacred Sword. Stone Edge obviously would be fantastic here, but we don't have it. But again, Bellibolt does great here, of course, so it's not a big deal. Love Bellibolt, love it, love it. When this Pokemon was first revealed for Scarlet and Violet, I didn't like it, but I guess just the design. But I just love the Pokemon in general this season. Just a little bit I used it, only used it once, but it was a lot of fun to use. And we're going to be able to Sucker Punch all the way down, and I can go for the Parabolic Charge into the Golisopod. And this is going to KO, and we'll say my opponent may have forced quit there. Who knows? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. But either way, good game. Well played to my opponent. We're able to take that and move on. Here we go. Bad matchup. Bad matchup. I'm going to go ahead and go into Drapion, but even the Bellibolt doesn't have a great matchup because Sucker Punch is resisted. Dragalge comes out. Bellibolt would hate that too because the electric type attacks obviously are resisted. I know this is the Aqua Tail, so I'm going to let this go. I'm going to go ahead and throw a Crunch. And I knew I'd be able to get to an Aqua Tail, so I'm either going to get Switch or most likely Shield Advantage. Obviously, they do want to win this matchup. So, because they do want that Clefable on the Virizion. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Aqua Tail, and I do pick up that Shield. And they are going to be able to farm me down. I was hoping to farm down before they got to an attack. I knew this could be Outrage, and it is going to be Outrage, but I'm not going to shield it. I'm just going to switch into Bellibolt and hope I could win. Stunfish comes in, I cannot win. That's a ground type. That's a ground type. But when I brought in Drapion, unfortunately, that didn't come out, right? The Stunfish. But good game, well played to my opponent. But either way, I was going to lose that no matter what. But we have Blastoise in the lead. Out comes... I almost said Golisopod, but it's like Galvantula, and I froze here. I didn't know what to do, I'm going to be honest. What I'm going to do is charge up for the Stone Edge and bait the Stone Edge. And obviously if they don't shield, it's going to be a little bit unfortunate. But fortunately for me, my opponent does shield. And I bring in Drapion right now. Do I shield this one? Let's see. I do not shield it. Okay, I could take the lunge and throw the Crunch here. So this Crunch is going to do a good amount of damage. But they do actually shield it. That's fine. And they switch in Blastoise, but I do make it to a Crunch. Now Blastoise will be aligned to one of the Pokemon in the back, whichever I choose. Now if they have Ice Beam, of course Virizion doesn't want to take that. But if they have Skull Bash, I mean we don't want to take it either. But with Virizion I guess, because it does a lot of damage. But I do get off my Leaf Blade because I do have it stored. And I'm going to switch into Bellibolt. Do I shield this one? I might. Yeah, I do shield it. I guess because I can boost my defense with Parabolic Charge. And, oh, Steelix comes out. It's a ground type. No. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I mean, I let it go because I know it's a Psychic Fangs or Breaking Swipe, and it is a Psychic Fangs. And I'm going to go ahead and go for the Parabolic Charge right now. The reason to go for that is to just stall up my switch timer, right? I think I have to... No, I still let it go. Okay. I still let it go. Now I bring up Virizion. I get off the Sacred Sword. I'm able to make it before they can switch out, which is huge. And that's good. And my opponent is going to go ahead and go for an attack right now. This is going to be enough to knock out the Virizion. Of course, I'm low enough. But I do go for the Zap Cannon. This is probably overkill. A Parabolic Charge would have been enough to knock out. And I would have boosted my defense, which would have helped me. But I am able to Sucker Punch down. So, because we have Sucker Punch with Bellibolt, you know, as I said, it's not an electric type, so it's not going to be heavily resisted by that. Steelix, we're able to take that one. Picking up a great lead in the next matchup. Surfetch, not a Pokemon I see too often nowadays. I have not seen this Pokemon for a long time. And so I go into Bellibolt. I don't know. Should I put the Drapion? I think so. I like that I went for Leaf Blade, but I think I should have went into Drapion. I think that was a mistake. Because my Sucker Punch is resisted, of course. I have to shield this. I mean, I could shield this and farm down. But, like, of course, this would have been good as well against the Greninja later on. Or D-Semi, Sucker Punch is resisted. But out comes Genesect. When I saw Genesect, I knew I was going to win. But, like, I still think I misplayed. So, huge shout out to my opponent for the really spicy team. Love to see the Genesect. Love to see the Surfetched. But I can go for another Parabolic Charge. And look how boosted my defense is. I think I'm able to make another one. That's how boosted my defense is. That's why Bellibolt is so good, because of Parabolic Charge. It's already tanky, it becomes tankier. Absolutely wild stuff. So I love Bellibolt. I really do. I think it's a great Pokemon. Drapion is coming in. I'm just going to go ahead and essentially sacrifice it. Take this Magnum Bomb, or Technoblast, whatever. Yeah, they go for that. And then I could bring in Virizion, and I was like, I don't have to shield it. I know it's only going to be a Hydro Cannon or Night Slash. Probably a Hydro Cannon. And I could have went for another one, charged up more, but I just like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go for that Leaf Blade to get rid of the Greninja. Actually doesn't KO, which I was kind of surprised about. But we're able to take that one. Good game to my opponent. Well played. Moving on, Virizion into Drapion. Okay, this is not a bad matchup if they don't have Sludge Bomb. Obviously, the Poison Sting is super effective, but the charge attacks will be resisted. But I know this is not Poison. I know this is not Sludge Bomb because they didn't charge up for it. I wasn't going to shield anyway, but I should have definitely charged up for it, but that's good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Secret Sword and go for another one. And do I make it to another one? No, not quite. So my opponent is going to go ahead and go for an attack right now. Crunchy able to take it, but they're not switching out. They must be weak to Virizion in the back. Maybe a Water type for Alligator, maybe. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe for Alligator. But we do KO that. And they bring in Giratina, and I do switch immediately into Drapion. I was like, that's my only answer. Well, no, Sucker Punch Bellibolt. But they actually just top left. So I guess they were not confident in winning that. Maybe it was a Water type in the back. I don't know. But either way, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a